Just from the reflectivity signature, and the reflectivity is what shows us the rain, the precipitation, but it still looks like there's a little bit of what we call an inflow notch. See how it looks like a little bit of a V right there? There's some strong wind being sucked into that thunderstorm, into the rotation right here in this area. One of the things that may make this dangerous is just kind of analyzing this right here. I suspect this is probably a heavily rain-wrapped tornado, so this is not a tornado that you're going to see. The other thing I would add to this is, as we're tracking this and kind of watching it closely, I would encourage you to, I'm going to zoom back out and get a different zoom of this so that we can put the tracker back on it again for you. But I would encourage you, if you know people who are in this area right now, give them a call, especially if they do the whole streaming TV thing. They watch the Netflix, they watch the Hulu. Give them a call, shoot them a text message, make sure they're paying attention to this, because this has potential to bring some danger to them, and that's not what we want. And that's why I'm with you, and I'll stay with you as long as this tornado warning now is effective for our any part of our viewing area. And again, we're going to put the tracker on this, and it just kind of threw me a curveball there, so let's try this again. And there we go. So this is tracking again to the north, and we'll continue doing so. Here are just a couple of places in line for this, and then I'm going to kind of fly back out and reconfigure this. But look, this is near the Smire community, here at about 305. That's a little bit north there of Coffeyville and in northwestern sections of Clark County, Alabama. This is going to be in Failtown at about 310, over the Morven Junction, the Morven Junior High School area, I should say, at 315, and then over the Morven community at about 318. So that's getting up closer to the Marengo County line. Still, though, this is in Choctaw County. Once again, I want to zoom back out, and we're going to get a better zoom here so that I can get you a longer cone on that and show you how much farther, because I know we have viewers in Marengo County too who are probably concerned and at least interested about when this one could arrive. And then we'll track some of these other storms that are to our south here in Mississippi and give you an idea of their arrival times, assuming, of course, they hold together. So let's bring the cone back out, and we'll track this. Here's the storm right here, and again, we're still seeing some strong signs of rotation on that latest radar scan. And as we track this up here to the north, slightly east of due north, I get you a little bit of a longer list there, and there is that list for you. So this again comes into the Smire community at about 258, Campbell 305, Morven 312, Alaska at 317, and then Aimwell at 333. Pennington, this is close to you, at 341. And then Myrtlewood 348, Edna at 352, and then Jefferson at 408. Looks like we've had did we have a new tornado warning issued there, or did we drop one? It looks like we dropped one, definitely, but it... Okay. Okay, so we still have now northwest Clark County and eastern and southeastern Choctaw County included in the tornado warning. And then to the south of us in Mississippi, we've got some tornado warnings there too, namely one in Perry County and then another in George County. That one is sneaking up from the south, and we're going to continue to watch what's going on here in Choctaw County as well. And if you're in the path of this, you want to go into a middle room in your home, put as many walls between you and outside as you can, and stay there until this storm passes. It'll get loud, it's going to get windy, and you may even hear some things kind of falling outside around you. But again, put yourself right in the middle of your home and put as many walls between you and the outside as you can. I've always said bathtubs are a good place to be because the plumbing and the walls can help to kind of reinforce those walls. That's, of course, assuming that bathtub and that bathroom is near the middle of your home. If you don't have a room, a hallway is a good place to be. Just get right in the middle and just kind of hunker down. Cover up with couch cushions, cover up with anything, blankets, small mattresses, as I mentioned, couch cushions, jackets, even book bags. If you have maybe a student athlete who plays football and they have the helmet, you can put that on, and that can help protect somebody's head from flying debris as well. This is a storm that's been cycling. And of course, the cycling storms are not uncommon, especially in this part of the country. But I can tell you that this is one that's probably rain-wrapped. There again, some tornado warning tips for you. Thank you in the back for throwing that up for us there. I do want to check out what's happening down to the south as well, because this has some implications on our weather also. And what I'm talking about are these storms that are down here over Perry County and also in George County. This is, again, this is to our south. I know it's just outside of our area, but it's knocking on your doorstep if you're down around Wayne County or Jones County watching in that area. In fact, this tornado warning has just been extended up into definitely Wayne County. Does that clip the southeast corner there of Jones County? It's hard to see that, but that new tornado warning there, this one's going to go until, looks like 3:45. That's actually for the southern half or so of Wayne County. That's just south of Waynesboro, but that's another storm that we've been watching here for the better part of the last, say, 30 to 45 minutes or so. I want to put the tracker on this one also and give you an idea, if you are watching, of when this is going to arrive. And this storm is right around in here. This is the tornadic part of the storm that we're tracking. So let's draw the cone right there and right up into Wayne County to the end of that tornado warning that, again, cuts off just to the south of Waynesboro. So this comes into Sand Hill at 309, the Piave community at 316, Smithtown 323, the Clara Attendance Center at 342. Then it's over Waynesboro Municipal, well, that's going to be Waynesboro at 352, and the Winchester community also at about 352. So if you're in the path of that one, also, again, assume there's a tornado with that. We have tornado warnings now in that storm coming into Wayne County. There's another one that's back here just coming into the southern part of Jones County. We've got a whole lot of action going on right now. We have an area of low pressure that's actually a tropical depression that formed a little bit earlier today that's down in the Gulf of Mexico. This is throwing some energy our way. You combine that with a huge cold front that's sweeping down from the north, and that's kind of adding to the mix just a little bit. And so we've got, especially in our southern and southeastern areas, a little bit of a pattern that has really changed on us overnight. This admittedly kind of snuck up on us, and that's not what we want to happen, but that's what happened today. We knew we were going to be in for some inclement weather, but the severe weather threat is something that we didn't necessarily see coming from a long distance. This is something that's developed more on top of us today throughout the day. We are still tracking, again, this storm that's there in Choctaw County. Let's zoom back into that one and update you on its current location, because that's really the one that's kind of the big one, and it's actually in the area right now. Again, moving just north of Coffeyville. We have had at times some indication that this is producing some damage. Our radar now has the ability to see damage that's been thrown up into the air. Now, we haven't seen it recently necessarily. This was back when it was over Washington County. There were multiple times, not necessarily one time after another in each consecutive radar scan, but several times when we actually did have some indication that there was a bit of debris that was being lofted into the air. So again, here's our tornadic thunderstorm. Still looks like there may be at least some weak rotation there, and the tornado warning does continue. So let's track this right up to the northeast here. Again, more north, but slightly just to the east there of due north. So we'll track it right now into the Failtown community. 312 is when it arrives there. This comes into Morven at 320, Laska 326, Coxheath at 337, Aimwell 341, Pennington at 349, Myrtlewood 357, Edna at 4 o'clock. Persimmon, that's hard to see. Let's see if I can you move that on the screen a little bit more for me, Andrew, please? Thank you. So there we go. Now we can see it. Persimmon Grove, there we go, 404. And then this comes into Linden at 410. Most of this, especially beyond about Failtown, is actually moving up into Marengo County, so beyond the warning at this point. Now, one of the reasons you're seeing the warning kind of drawn out the way it is, it really follows the Tombigbee River and cuts off here at Clark County. And it does look like there may be some threat going up into Marengo County as well. But one of the reasons we're seeing that cutoff is our friends down at the National Weather Service in Mobile issue the warnings for Clark County and for Choctaw County. And then the folks up at the National Weather Service in Birmingham are the ones who issue for Marengo and Sumter counties. So that's why this warning has kind of an abrupt cutoff. Birmingham has not yet warned for this, and if they do, of course, we will let you know. So again, tornado warning, this one continues until 3:30 this afternoon for eastern sections now of Choctaw County, southeastern Choctaw County, and also for the northwest part now of Clark County. Now, officially, this warning does include the immediate Coffeyville area. However, this has cleared north of you in Coffeyville. So the threat for that tornado in Coffeyville at this point has ended, but that threat now, again, expanding a little bit farther to the north. And again, we put the arrival times on here for you, and we just got an updated radar scan, so I'm actually going to update that for you. We're going to get right into that rotation, and we're going to track this again up to the north and slightly east of due north. So again, I'll let you read those off. I'll read them with you there. Thank you very much, Andrew. So there we put it over Smyer here at about 302. Failtown 306, Morven Junior High School 311, then right over Morven at 314. Then this is over the Laska community at 320, Aimwell 336, Pennington at 343, Myrtlewood and the Rembert School area at 351, and then Oakchia at 356. That tornado warning again continues until 3:30. Remember, we do have a tornado watch that is in effect for Choctaw and Clark counties in Alabama, and also for Clark, Wayne, and Jones counties in Mississippi, and that runs until 4 o'clock. We actually have, in fact, I'm going to move ahead here just a little bit, and I'm going to get you to another map, and it's another radar map, but I've got a map in here. There it is. This has the wind on it, and the reason I want to show this to you, in fact, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on this, and we can actually show you a little bit more closely really what it is we're seeing here, because the winds really do tell a little bit of a story here. What we have going on, as you see up here to the north, we actually have a little bit more of a northeasterly and even northerly wind at times. Coming in from the south, we have that wind from the southeast, and kind of where that boundary meets, where we have the northerly and northeasterly winds that collide with these southeasterly winds, there's actually a warm front that's buried in there. So it's the warmer side of that warm front in our southern areas that right now seem to be the most prone for tornadoes. I do have some concern that that tornado watch may need to be extended, because it does look like some of that instability behind that warm front may linger beyond 4 o'clock. That's about an hour from now. But I can also tell you that it looks like that instability has the potential at least to expand a little bit farther to the north. There again is a look at the bigger picture. We have a tornado warning now for eastern Clark County. This is mainly for areas just south of Butler. It looks like it comes right up to you in Butler, but it looks like the tornado threat will actually stay just zoom into that. Looks like we're getting a little bit more lightning out of that one as well. Lightning can sometimes be an indicator of kind of intensity patterns, and that's one of the things that we watch with these also. I want to update you with this now that we're getting some new updates on this. And we're going to draw the tracker on this, and then we're going to do a little bit more analysis with this storm. So there again, about the kind of area of the tornado warning, that's again from, let's see, Perry and Greene counties, moving up now into Wayne County. And this again will be near the Mulberry community, 321, Hollis Creek at 329. It will be over the Clara Attendance Center at 341, over Waynesboro, really 353 to 356, Boyce 404, Hiwanee 411, and then the Gretna community up there in northeast Wayne County, right along Highway 84 at about 415. That again, assuming this one holds together. These storms really are in an environment that's not favorable for long track storms, but maybe cyclic storms. In other words, storms that cycle through. So they may produce a tornado at one point, and then they may weaken and then start to re-intensify again. So these, again, storms that we've got to keep a close eye on, and that tornado watch continues. But I really want to emphasize, too, this is not just a tornado threat. It's a flash flood threat also. We have a flash flood watch that now covers all of our East Mississippi counties. At this point, none of our Alabama counties are included in that tornado, or that's the flash flood watch, I should say. If that changes, of course, we will let you know. Again, tornado warning, 2 tornado warnings continue. These are kind of on the outer edges of our area. They're not a threat at this point to Meridian. They're not a threat to Philadelphia, and they're not a threat to Demopolis or even Livingston. It's Butler down to Coffeyville where we have the first threat, and even that threat is starting to trend more toward and just east of Butler and over southern and southwestern Marengo County. And then we also have that threat coming now out of Perry and Greene counties and into Wayne County. That's going to be closing in on the Waynesboro area. Also worth a mention, I talked about that flash flood watch. We have a flash flood warning now that covers parts of Forest, and I believe that's Covington County there just to the west of Forest County, including the Hattiesburg area. That runs until 5 o'clock this evening. So what's happening there, I can show you too. Let's animate this. There we go. And there you see these storms as they're kind of racing northward, but kind of like a train. You have these multiple cars that are moving over one little spot beneath the railroad there. They're training. That's why we call it that. They're training right over this area, and that again is going to contribute to that flash flood risk. They're certainly seeing that in the immediate Hattiesburg area right now. And in addition to that, kind of on the warm side of this system, there is that threat for a couple of tornadoes, and we certainly do have those tornado warnings. The first one now moving into the southwest corner of Marengo County, and I want to check in. Andrew Samus with us this afternoon. He's had a long day, I know, but I appreciate you for sticking around. And Andrew, I want to check in with you. I know you're monitoring the National Weather Service information and the chat rooms that we have connecting us to them. Has Birmingham mentioned anything about extending this warning up into Marengo County yet?
They have not. Birmingham has not decided on that. I've been watching it. It's showing a steady weakening trend, and it has been for a while now. But it's really along Highway 69 there in northern Clark County. So if you're on Highway 69 in Marengo County, definitely pay attention to this storm. You're not under a tornado warning, but if Birmingham does decide to put it downstream, you would definitely be included there. Again, Highway 69, it looks like the Putnam community may be in on there. Again, there's no warning at this point,
right.
But if it were to be put downstream, it would follow the Highway 69 corridor pretty.
So this is what we're talking about right here, and thank you very much, Andrew. And I can second what Andrew's saying. We've been following this for the better part of the last hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and this actually formed over the west side of Mobile, the city of Mobile, a little bit earlier. It formed very near the University of South Alabama, in fact, and it's been tracking northward right up through Mobile and right up into Washington County. And we've seen this look a lot healthier than what it looks now. So it does look like we're starting to lose some of the punch on this. That would be good news. Again, this rotation is very near the Morven community, it looks like, and we'll continue tracking northeastward here. It's going to be over the Woods Bluff area at about 307. Again, moving into the Morven area, Morven Junior High School, it's going to be right over the top of that area at about 314. Lavaca at 334, Pennington 344, Half Acre 346, Myrtlewood 352, and Edna at 355. So again, if you're in Coffeyville, if you're near Coffeyville, the threat really has ended for you, and this threat is really pushing up to the north, and it's starting to back off. Again, we've had no indication that the National Weather Service in Birmingham intends to expand that warning. I'm a little surprised they haven't at least gone with a severe thunderstorm warning, but hey, we'll take it. You know, it's in fact, that warning's now being dropped, it looks like. So some good news there. So that warning has been dropped now. Choctaw County no longer under a tornado warning. Clark County, Alabama, no longer under a tornado warning. We still have that tornado warned storm, though, now for southern Wayne County. This is south of you in Waynesboro. Looks like there's a new tornado warning down there, too. That's in Greene County, Mississippi. That's running until 3:30. That one, actually, that's the same warning that we had a little bit earlier, but two warnings down just on our southern fringe there, and it looks like those storms maybe they're showing some signs of weakening too. Let's get a little bit closer in here and we can investigate those. I do want to remind you though, we still have a tornado watch for Choctaw County and for Clark County in West Alabama, and also for Clark, Wayne, and Jones counties in southeast Mississippi. No other counties are included right now. The tornado warning is for the southern half of Wayne County. This is south of Waynesboro at this point. We're going to again track this for you, and we're going to try and see what the wind is doing inside of this one as well. So this one continues its track off toward the north and northeast. These have been moving close to 30 miles per hour. This will be near the Bothwell community at 326, Piave at 334, Smithtown 341, Hollis Creek at 350, Chicora at 404, Waynesboro's right on top of downtown, 414 is when it arrives. That's not to say you're not getting some rain beforehand, but that's when the rotation bringing that tornado threat will arrive. Then just north of Waynesboro in the Boyce community, that rotation arrives at about 423. Then it moves on toward Gretna at 432. And then if it holds together, this can move into Clark County, and we're looking at an arrival time of about 4:37 for you in Shibuda, and then 4:45 up in Langsdale. So again, this is one worth watching. This one looks like it's got a lot of lightning, so this one's really starting to intensify actually. So this is one we probably should, at least for the next little while, kind of stick with here. I want to get a little bit closer to this, and we're going to do some live analysis on the air with you here with this particular storm, because this one is the one that's showing a little bit more promise. And we can switch over here to the velocity mode of the radar. And Andrew, if you could you just uncheck the lightning, just kind of untoggle it so we can get rid of that and actually see what's happening underneath. We can come back to the lightning here in a second. There we go. All right, so this is what we're seeing here. This radar is down in Mobile. And kind of the radar beam extends up into Wayne County. That's some very broad rotation. I don't see that there's a tight rotation there. And sometimes you don't need a tight rotation, but typically with a tornado type storm, we're going to need some tighter rotation. So this may be something that's in the formative stages. It may be something that even is weakening rather than intensifying, although on the reflectivity here, it certainly looks like this is actually trying to ramp up a little bit. So we put the lightning back on there, and see the lightning also is increasing, and when we have the increase in the lightning, we're usually looking at an intensifying storm. I want to look at a different mode of this. I'm going to step over here to the computer, and I'm going to sneak around you here, Andrew, and we're going to get rid of the lightning. I want to turn this storm on its side, and we're going to do a little bit of analysis like that. That's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do, right? Well, that's not it either, but we're going to fix it. There we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to actually slice this storm in half, and we're going to kind of dissect it a little bit, see if we can find anything that looks suspect. That's a tall storm. Taller storms tend to be stronger storms, and that's certainly something that